welcome everyone to the next episode of Hivemind, where the name of the game is to think the same as the Hive. I'm your host, Gormizer, and we're going to have a very fun episode ready for you today. But before we get started by introducing everybody, I'm just going to mention that if you do enjoy the show, make sure to share it around as much as you can. We need all the help we can get, please. We're actually drowning. Either way, we're going to be able to stay up and we come through. I've already got at least one laugh as we go over to the Hive, our panel for the show. And the first one up is going to be Finch. You've been here for a little while now, and I feel like you've got this one like in the bag. You understand what we're doing now.
Yeah, I'm in the groove. I'm the best person to match with. I've done the best job of the panel of any of the panelists, and I plan to continue that. Yeah.
Now, I think our next panelist is going to maybe contend to that as he's going to be coming in. Dave, you were one of the first contestants on the show.
Yeah.
And now you get to sit in the other seat. How does it feel?
Well, I got 0 points as a contestant. So I can only imagine that matching one word to either of our two contestants will be an improvement from last time. So high hopes.
No matter what, you're going forward and upwards.
There's nowhere further down to go for me.
That's all positive games for you. And, well, now we have someone who was a last-minute add-in, but I will say probably better than anyone we had planned for the show anyway. So, Avrin, you're going to be coming in and taking your first shot at the show.
Yes, hello. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
That was good.
Nice.
Well,
A
perfect.
strong start, no doubt.
I was preparing everything in my mind today to say that you were going to be missing an accent on the show. You're going to have to listen to a bunch of boring Americans talk around, but we actually have it still, I guess,
Hey,
our
guys.
little trip of international play.
Yeah,
in
just a
Hindi.
token over here. That's me.
Wow, yeah.
Only if we treat you like
Is that where we're going with that?
Also, I think somewhere in the hierarchy, still technically one of my bosses, or at least will be what. So I'll be careful about that going. And speaking of bosses, my actual boss is going to be sitting right here, and it's going to be Nick, returning winner of episode 1. And you're going to be a contestant this time around, and your opponent this time is the winner from episode 2 in Kresnik.
Was that really a win?
I mean, it counts. It was kind of.
He just lost less.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
Housefire is still definitely going to be burned in my mind as one of the worst
burned into
answers
hers
I
too.
think I could have ever heard to that problem.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, that was fun.
That wasn't bad.
I don't remember the prompts, but I'll laugh.
Either way, welcome to both of you onto the show. And I'm just going to flip a coin right now, and Kresnik say heads or tails.
Heads.
There, you get to go first. So you're going to be going through. Go ahead and
Where
choose
was the coin?
A or B.
Just
In
brain.
my mind.
You already decided.
Brain coins.
I just
Brain
it
I'm
could've
sorry, I forgot there's no video. I'm not used to that.
If you want the hint, if he had said tails, I would have made it him anyway because I'd kind of decided already. So Kresnik, go ahead and
flip a
choose
Bitcoin.
A or B.
Give me that B.
Give you that B. Everyone
All right,
starts
then.
with B first. That's the only recurring
Well,
theme
A
that we've
feels like a
actually
trap
had.
because it's first, alphabetically.
alphabetically,
Or
Yeah.
it's because
Oh, wow.
bees belong in the hive.
Okay, well, either way.
Okay.
David said,
Oh, God.
not Dave, David. Very distinct
My real name
difference
is
here.
David, so...
No
You've
way.
been lying to me this whole time?
Yes.
After I get home after a long day at work, I blank to relax. So David
We
said,
know there's only one answer here, everybody.
after I get
There's
home
like 6 things I do. Like
Wait, who am I
after a
matching,
long day of
Kresnik?
work.
Kresnik.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
blank
do when
to
you get home?
relax.
We can't talk to him about it, right? Yeah.
No.
No, but that's
Well, here's the question. Is it what Kresnik, do you think, are you trying to match with what Kresnik does when he gets home?
No.
Or is Kresnik trying to
No, we're
match
matching
what
with
Dave
what
right
David
there
does.
does when he gets home? I didn't realize, Dave, that I was going to have you on this until
right.
I wrote this. I'm going to go ahead and spoil this 3 weeks ago. So
Gotcha.
there was no correlation with you in my mind. when
Or
I
as
wrote
is
it.
customary for me to ask, can you read it again?
David said, after I get home after a long day at work, I blank to relax.
Can you spell it?
B-L-A-N-K.
B-L-A-N-K, yeah. No, if you want to know, it's in
ITU
all
is the
caps
answer
and bold letters, so I don't forget to say blank instead of something else there. Normally, I put 5 underscores.
Take a peek where I'm at here, Dave. That's some quality stuff I wrote down.
Hey, same.
Whoa, yeah,
I like
for real?
getting up and
We actually have... All right.
seeing some
You
of
have
these.
2
Okay.
points. You have 2
I can't
prompts
even
that are
read
the
all
same
of that
from your
one, so I'm just going to
panelists.
go ahead and sit back down as we finish it up. I think 2 locked in
Ding.
as we're finishing it up.
Ding.
So Kresnik, while they finish writing their answers, because we have a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and ask you one more time. David said, after I get home, after a long day at work, I blank to relax. What does David do?
Drink.
He drinks to relax. That I know a lot of people like
That
that.
was close.
They are also very, very potential alcoholics. Either way, let's go ahead and jump over to the panel. And Finch, what does David do when he gets home to relax?
Drink's an option. I don't know if relax is the right word. You drink to maintain the base form that you have. That you know what I mean? Like, because life's so hard. But I game to relax when I get home. I wrote down game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Game.
He goes home. He plays nothing but Smite.
Yeah, you play Smite.
That ain't
to
gonna
relax.
relax you.
No.
I do. Drink was one that I juggled with. If I could give half credit, I could, but I also game to relax.
Well, can't
I'm
tell.
actually-
He also went halfway uppercase in the middle because he's a bad writer. It's awful.
What, we're going on right?
Lowercase M, lowercase E.
Oh,
but
shit, I'm
the
so scared
big,
now.
Big A, just to make sure he knows that he's bringing his A game.
Only knows
But
the
Nice
bump.
score.
That's
That
good.
tracks.
Either way,
Drink was a good answer.
Drink was a good answer. We've got 2
was
games.
mine.
Avrin, I have a feeling you're going to be different here.
We were on kind of the same, I think, spiritual level, but you smoke. when
That's
you get
good.
home
I
to
almost wrote
relax.
that. Yeah.
That's same in essence, but not quite.
I just
the
didn't
same
think Kresnik would write
in
it. That's-
actuality. And so far that's 3 misses, Kresnik. You have one more chance right here.
I went for the universal option more than anything else. Curl up into a ball and hope tomorrow it gets better. To relax.
Little did I know, Hindu Man has access to cameras that are inside of my own apartment. And I am kind of disturbed because he's been watching me. Either way, Kresnik, that is a resounding 0. Although I feel like, again, with most of these prompts at the very beginning, no one tends to match. But the good news is, it does feel like there's 4 answers on the board this time. And I'm sure Dave is feeling that more than
Yeah,
anyone.
thank God.
So, Nick,
Thank
you're
God.
going
That would have
to...
been a 2-point prompt for me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You'd hit that game?
He would have hit that.
There
game.
we go,
That's
Nick.
literally
What
all
else
he
am I
does.
doing? Come on, you always know where to find me, bro.
Funny enough, if Dave was actually in the contestant seat, he would have matched with Finch there.
For
Thank
once,
you.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
He would have gotten
He's
a
on
point.
1 point, Dave.
I got 1 point in my soul, and that's what
And-
counts. I'm not earning any, but I
When
am.
Dave goes home, he just hopes that the next time he's on Hivemind, he'll match somebody. That's
Yeah,
all he can
please.
think about. All right, Nick, your prompt
Still searching.
is going to be Sally was upset on their anniversary. This year, all she wanted from her husband was a nice, quiet dinner. Instead, he gave her a blank. Now, this is one that I could barely come up with answers to,
Yeah, this
as
is
opposed
tough.
to my others that have several. So I'm
a
interested to
tough
see what kind of splattering we get. Hindu's already writing. He was ready.
I'm a married man.
And
Can I hit it?
that's what I was going to say.
Hindu is disappointed, yeah.
The
for
first
sure.
one married
Let me hear it again.
knows
Corey.
exactly what he's going. So Sally was upset on their anniversary.
Let's change it to Katie.
Feels too accurate. We haven't even hit 1 year yet, but either way, you never know. This year, all she wanted from her husband was a nice, quiet dinner. Instead, he gave her a blank.
This is
I-
tough.
Oh
It's
my.
tough.
It is TUFF tough. Super tough. It's definitely no game.
What would a woman not want? But just
right.
think about what my basic instincts tell me and write that down.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to draw a self-portrait.
Okay.
Whoa!
That,
Gonna get up and go now.
Just
Thanks,
a-
everybody.
That's 2 of us. That's 2 of us now that went to leave already. Like, what?
that was instinctual. And I'm in that
I
zone
really
apparently.
okay. A nice quiet dinner.
What is the opposite of a nice, quiet dinner? Or, I guess, what would you hate
On
if
your
all you
anniversary
want in
too.
your
That's
world?
a dangerous one. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ding.
Ding. We're waiting on 2 more here.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
What are
Which-
you actually getting her that she just didn't want?
Oh, trust me, there's plenty of things you can get a woman that she didn't want when you're married to her.
You know, I will say, and this is more podcasty than game showy, but our first anniversary is going to be right back at Disney. So
Oh,
That's cool.
hopefully
That's really cool.
she isn't mad at me for
Yeah, she'll love it.
what
You're-
presumably will not be.
This
To
is
be fair,
This is
A
a horrible
quiet-
answer. I'm no
Let me
better
take a
at
big-
being.
I just had my
I'm no
fourth
better at
anniversary.
being.
Yeah.
And I
I'm no
forgot
better
that it
at
was my
being
fourth. I
a
thought it was
panelist
only
than I am
after.
a contestant.
We weren't.
That's
not-
also
actually,
dangerous game.
yeah,
to
that's-
play.
It was,
so far.
but she was okay about it. I was good. It worked out okay.
You were like, we've just been together so
I
long
was like, I
that
can't believe it's been 3 years, and she went, "It's been 4," and I'm like, "Well, shit."
your time flies when you're having fun.
I have a lot of answers and none of them are good.
Well,
Waiting
luckily,
on just Omrin at this
yeah,
point?
at this point, so I think we'll
play the
we'll
prompt.
probably turn over and start playing it over here from Nick.
Tell
So
she's a
Sally,
first-time caller, can't you?
Sally was upset on their anniversary.
Yep.
This year, all she wanted from her husband was just a nice, quiet dinner. but instead he gave her a what?
She wanted a quiet dinner, but instead she got a surprise party.
That's actually way better than
Damn.
everything I was going to say. Dave giving away that he might not be
Sorry,
a match
that was
here.
a really good answer. but-
So Finch is
I
just
did
slowly
not
nodding.
mind.
Actually, normally this is a good reaction from Finch. We'll find out what it means this time around.
I shook
That
my
was a
head.
good
for the-
answer.
for the
It is a
folks
good
at
answer.
home. That's a good answer, Nick, and you're smarter than I
I
am.
love that I'm getting this from the panelists. I know that I'm getting no points. Wow, great answer. You ain't getting shit, though.
I said he got her a sports jersey. She wouldn't want that, right?
I can
Into
imagine.
sports?
Is it
I can see that.
lightning themed?
Just some like
even?
out of touch like Chad dude, just like I got you LeBron's jersey. I know you were your uncle's from Cleveland and we went a game the other week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the energy I was trying to channel here with sports.
Yeah, I went along the same vein. I said takeout and watching a football game, which is, I'm imagining, not very good. For
It sounds
him.
like a good anniversary from my point of view.
Yeah,
To
right.
be honest.
Right,
Like,
that's
I'll
why
take
you
it.
got it.
Quiet dinner that she didn't get, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she got takeout instead and watched the football game.
That is a quiet dinner.
Takeout can be a
right?
quiet dinner. I don't think
Gordon,
a foot-
never invite me on this show again.
I don't think a football game can be as quiet. So
I like
you
Nick's
were
answer
one of the
better.
late
Wow.
arrivals. for
I
this.
was.
That was
I was
smart.
trying to decide how audience appropriate I wanted to be, so we're gonna go with lingerie.
That's where my mind went as well.
That's another good answer.
As hey, you wanted a nice quiet dinner. I want to just go into the bedroom right now and finish my own business, and then you can have fun the rest.
How
of the
about
day.
extremely uncomfortable underwear instead?
Yeah, that's also applicable.
Something you'll wear tonight and never again.
Never
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
That is
just wanna be
also
clear.
very realistic.
This wasn't me any time in my
Sure.
anniversaries, but an ironing board cover and pointed at a pile of laundry.
Oh my God.
Not so.
Auburn and Hindumann's answers both equally suggestive.
Maybe even giving a glimpse into, I guess not what you're like, since you know that it was wrong and you
Oh.
gave that caveat
Oh.
right at the beginning.
Well,
Melanie will never do laundry.
Nick, I'm
There's
giving
no
you,
power here in that.
in all
Unfortunately for
honesty-
Auburn, I have a feeling that a lot of anniversaries have been disappointing based on the fact that she said every answer was not good that she had thought of.
I'm giving Nick like consolation points because his answer was very good
So-
on that one.
In
Everyone-
Dave's mental scoreboard, he and I have both scored a point.
At this point, Dave is just making sure
I have
everybody
one point
feels
for
happy.
myself because of Finch's and I. We had game, so I have a point. And Nick and I.
To
also
be
have a
fair,
point
I would
together.
rather squeeze into lingerie than do laundry, dude.
Yeah.
Same.
It is my least favorite household.
That
chore.
being said,
Dude,
I'm also
it sucks so bad.
it's the worst.
I've never had to iron a shirt, so I don't know how much I would hate it because I just do the cheap.
Yeah, we've
thing
seen
and
you on broadcast
steam
day.
it.
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
No, yesterday, I genuinely looked like I was wearing a burlap sack the other day. It just happened to be
It's
made
pretty
of
indicative
slightly
of
fancy.
Tuesday.
Hey, well,
I
don't put my
think that was
shirts
it.
on anymore then, okay? Mr. Get Fit over here.
That's it works sometimes. Either way,
I propped us up.
That's right. They
President-
only look wrinkly because
Yes.
Gore's in such great shape now.
Yeah,
right?
see,
Because
that's
they're
the issue.
billowy. Yeah.
here I am trying to just make myself feel bad, and no one will let me.
No!
Again.
You're the one good one amongst us. We have to support it.
Kresnik,
Yes.
you get to start round number 2. But before we get to round number 2, while you think real hard about A or B, I will say if you're listening to this and you do like a lot of the voices, surprisingly enough, not on this show since they all dipped out in the last minute, but we do still have Finch and Hindu. If you happen to like the Green Room podcast as well, it features a lot of them and talking in much less formatted form. You can find that on Spotify or your favorite place to
Sorry,
find
turn the AC on.
podcasts.
It's getting hot in here, man. Oh,
As
scalding.
Finch is enjoying it, but it is very fun. It's a good listen to, and I absolutely recommend it if you enjoy the nonsense that happens mid-round for all of this. But now to start the next round, Kresnik, you get to choose your prompt, A or B.
I'll do B again.
You'll do B again. Now I have to figure out where I'm reading. Here it is. Shaquille O'Neal is so big that when he was a baby, he couldn't be delivered by the stork. Instead, he was delivered by a blank. So Shaquille O'Neal was so big
By the stork.
that when he was a baby, he could not be delivered by stork. He had to be delivered instead by a blank.
A house fire, right? This is where I write.
I was already doing that.
I was thinking that
I was
for
already doing
Nick's
that.
prompt.
Kresnik's inner
Pants belt.
monologue for the entire episode has just been, don't say house fire, don't say house fire, don't say house fire. Not again.
It wouldn't have been bad for Nick's prompt.
Not really. A house fire instead of, well, actually, for a lot of husbands cooking a dinner
Exactly.
that are
She
garbage
wanted a
at
nice
cooking
quiet
dinners.
dinner.
The psycho
But he
ass
just-
husband.
I got you the house fire you always wanted.
Now we can start anew, like the Phoenix.
Oh, well, now I'm going to go ahead and steer away from that one.
Oh, yeah,
Phoenix,
do
though,
it, definitely.
might be a bird that could carry something as big as a Shaquille O'Neal when he was a baby. And as I
That's
see, I
hella
think the last
Ding.
of the pens to
Ding.
paper are done
ding,
here.
Ding, ding, and
Boop. We got one
Almost.
boop. So Kresnik, Shaquille O'Neal is so big that when he was a baby, he couldn't be delivered by the stork. Instead, he was delivered by what?
A mammoth.
By mammoth.
Yeah.
I could see that. Not where my mind went for it, but a mammoth is pretty hefty
they
and can
fly?
carry a whole lot. It was a very
How can you
slow,
fly a
long,
Shaq so big?
arduous delivery.
Yeah.
It was like a journey.
For everyone involved, much like all pregnancies, it was a journey. So Finch, we're looking for mammoth.
Oh man.
If
Good
you
news
got
is there are 3 more panelists, and I imagine that'll help because I wrote plane, keeping on the flight theme. And plane had.
Well, the good news is there are 2 more panelists because I wrote airplane.
Yeah, there we go, Dave.
Baby. I have
Couldn't do that on your episode, could you?
I have 2 virtual points. I have two virtual points.
Now, my first instinct was pterodactyl, so I like that we're in the same prehistoric vein. But I also can't resist a good pun, so by crane, which is a bird and
Oh, that's
also a
good
piece
work
of
by you.
machinery.
Oh, smart. The double play. I like that. Yeah, not a chance, Kresnik.
Yeah, I know.
Apache helicopter is what I so that's the best I could
What did
say.
you scratch out?
Sometimes
What do you think
when
of
you need
that?
to go and just get into the game, you also need an attack helicopter ready to go.
There you go.
So Kresnik again at the end of this round, another goose egg for you.
And
as
you didn't
it
even
happens
get
to
the
be.
the nice good answer thing at least.
Oh
right?
no,
That
yeah,
Nick got.
mammoth was it was out
fine.
there.
It's above-
definitely not
We
a
were
flying.
thinking dinosaurs.
Burning.
I was
but
hoping.
Still,
I was hoping someone would say elephant, and I'd get like partial credit or something.
Tier
No, I
above
learned
house
that there's
fire,
no such
tier
thing as
below
partial credit.
every other answer that's matched on this game.
You
So
imagine thinking that
I
there would
would've
be
said-
answers that would show up and not writing that also. I don't understand the logic. You thought elephant would show up and you'd get half credit?
I felt like mammoth.
I learned,
I felt like
right?
mammoth
I
would get
learned
credit
that
for
half
elephant,
credit
but
is not a
elephant
thing.
might not get credit for mammoth.
You scoop up all those free mammoth points and then the one lone elephant. Right? Yeah, easy for Kresnik.
definitely didn't work out. Game plan might need to have some time to rethink that one. Luckily, you
I was
do
gonna
have a
say
little
747. Would that have
That
counted?
would have counted.
bit. I think, yeah, I would have counted that. That is a
It's
plan.
under the umbrella.
Well, Nick, you get the other prompt coming into it. Ray's new doctor seemed a little iffy. Ray went in for a regular physical,
Okay.
but the doctor gave him a blank
resical.
exam.
Oh, this is free points, Nick.
So Ray's new doctor
show
seemed a
is.
little iffy. Ray went in for a regular physical, but the doctor gave him a blank exam.
You want to see what I wrote down, Tom? Yeah. That's 3 points, baby.
good work, Finch.
That's 3 points, baby.
Guest feature,
Oh, ding.
that is
Ding.
Tom.
Ding.
No.
3 dings and a ding.
Ding.
So we're going to go back to
Let me
Nick
see
almost
that.
immediately as the panel inspects their
You
own
wrote
answers.
the real word.
Ray's new doctor
Oh,
seemed a little iffy. Ray went in for a
alley-oop
regular
is
physical,
up.
but the doctor gave him a
And
blank
I'm
exam.
jumping and windmill dunking prostate.
There we go.
Went in just to say, "Hey doc, how's my weight?" And the doc gave him a finger. So we're gonna go ahead and see
Listen,
how that matches.
God, I'm dreading
Listen.
that happening, man. I'm not looking forward to when that happens.
so I think Nick should get the points here, but don't make fun of me because instead of writing prostate exam, I wrote anal exam. So don't laugh at me for
That's
that.
why I just clarified. 747 fell under the umbrella of airplane.
I think that goes.
The concept of the exam does involve anal, I guess,
Yeah, there
in
we
the
go.
long run. So yes, I will give you a point for that one.
Woo! There we go.
Ding.
Nick, get on the board, baby.
I will match him word for word and say prostate as well.
And
Ding,
hopefully
ding,
not
ding,
exam
ding.
for exam. I don't
No,
think
not exam
you
for
can
exam in
get
this
prostate
case.
exams together, but don't do it. It's probably weird. So that's 2 now on the board here for Nick.
Easy clap.
That's
Let's
going to be
go.
a third one. You're slam dunking this one.
I'm sorry.
You almost had the clean sweep.
Listen, I went
needs
for
a
the
comedic
I went for
value.
the other alternative just because of the situation of like, well, if he doesn't
Safety.
guess that, you know,
Hedging
you've
your
at least got
bets.
a point from breast exam.
Okay.
Okay.
It could also be Frank.
Good
He's also
answer.
a fat guy,
Good
so he's gonna
answer.
have
Extremely
boobs.
Family Feud.
That's where it was. Okay.
Hedging your
I
bets.
think really what it was that
can't say
Hindu
that.
saw the dreading realism that we heard a little bit before the answers came through of a prostate exam and was like, I want to avoid this literally as much as
just talking
possible.
about it gets me worried. That's what it is.
And so he dodges it. But that's going to be 3 that you clean up here.
How many does
That's gonna
Kresnik have?
be a pretty
0.
clean round over the 0 Kresnik has. And before we get to the next round, I'm also going to mention if you like the podcast, but you don't like watching it on YouTube, or you want to just be able to listen to it on your way to work, we're also right now on SoundCloud and hopefully soon going to be on Spotify. So just keep your eye open, or I guess your ears open, to make sure that you can find the podcast wherever you want it, or the game show wherever you want it, since it's not technically a podcast. But Kresnik, I'm actually going to let you go last this time around so that you can know the
Just like his
exact
goal.
amount of points you need to match, and we might be able to see Nick scoop up 5 and make it literally impossible for you. But we're going to go ahead and go, and Nick, you can choose A or B.
Go B, man.
Go B. After years of fighting, Batman finally retired. He decided to turn the Batcave into his man cave. All he wants to do now is kick back and polish his blank.
Can we hear that? Can we hear that again,
The
please?
resounding chuckle that came through. After years of fighting, Batman finally retired. He decided to turn the Batcave into his man cave, and now all he wants to do is kick back and polish his blank.
He's first.
This is tough.
This is going to be Nick that you're trying to match here. What kind of thing does Nick want
You wrote
to
that quick
polish?
too.
I really do need to just go out and buy those, like, just little bells or something for you, or lights that we could just flip on. Something convenient. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to say that until
Oh, I'm
I
torn.
do it.
I'm sure there's
But
snap.
it's never going to happen.
I haven't
torn.
finished my answer yet. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
torn.
read it one more
I need
time for
time
you,
to
even
think.
Finch.
Ing.
After years of fighting, Batman finally retired. He decided to turn the Batcave into his man cave. Now all he wants to do is kick back and polish his blank. Just swing back,
I can't think out loud.
prop the feet up. There's no visual aspect to this, so I don't know why I'm
Thinking
doing
out loud
anything.
is basically leading them on, so I can't do it.
No, unfortunately. But you can stress and sweat as much as you want to show
But you
that
did
are
say lean
thinking.
back. Wait, what was the wording?
Kick back and polish his blank. But you could also, I guess,
Don't get hung
lean
up on the
back,
details.
depending on how things are.
Don't get hung up on the finer.
I'm really confused as to what fit with lean back and not kick back, since in my mind they mean literally the
Well,
exact
if
same thing.
if he's sitting down,
yes.
right.
Then I think
True.
it would be like different thing.
Well, I mean, kicking back and
Ding.
leaning back for me.
No,
are
it
the
wasn't
same.
the distinction between those. I just need to know that I didn't know you like described what was going on.
Oh yeah. Well, either way, I
I
think
still wrote my.
we've all got it in. So Nick, after years of fighting, Batman finally retired. He decided to turn the Batcave into his man cave. All he wants to do now is kick back and polish his what?
this might be too specific, but I'm going to say his batarang.
His Batarang. That's good. Batman would. I mean,
Nick's
like,
so good at this game. I just have to trust him.
it's
Fuck
good.
me, dude.
all right.
So I didn't
have
write
a
it,
strong
obviously.
feeling that you did write Batarang.
Batarang makes more sense because of how you described it. But I followed my dumb gut and I wrote Batmobile.
I was going to
say that.
That was one of them too, but
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
Batarang makes more sense. At least kick back. I'm
he's
right there
got
with you,
their
Nick.
car in the man cave. It is the transformed bat cave as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was one of my answers too,
Yeah,
Finch. No,
that was tough.
you weren't far off.
Yep.
Dave?
I'm assuming I'm very far off because I said knob.
So you were on my wavelength.
Batarang is too
I'm also going to throw this out
That's what I
because I'm
wanted
so
to write.
sure
I
no
would-
one
I
wrote this
almost wrote it.
down.
It was
My
too
other
specific.
answer personally would have been his bat bowling balls. Being able to maybe play into the innuendo there.
He
but-
wrote knob very quickly.
The only
Yeah, he-
reason I,
And then when dings,
man, the only
got
reason
this
I brought it
nailed
down to Batarang was because you were focused on kicking back, you know, and chilling.
and chilling. Well, Avrin, what
So
was he
Batarang was
polishing?
my first instinct
don't
as
do that.
well.
Really?
Good answer. It's a good
And
answer.
then my degenerate brain kicked in, and I'm with Dave on this.
She wrote knob
The
down.
degenerate
I
brain
did.
is the best thing.
The hive mind says knob.
Consensus is
I'm
not.
trying to
Hindi,
keep
do
it
you?
clean.
This is more in
Sorry,
your
no,
slang, I
no,
would say.
I said mask.
Ah, that was
Is
my,
what I said.
Yeah. I was like,
mask.
he's either polishing his armor, his Batmobile, or his Batarang.
Yeah, I could see it, but unfortunately, none of those answers happened
Sorry,
to crop
Nick.
up. Well, I guess Batmobile did crop up, but
Oh, this
it was
is
not
this is
the match.
Kresnik's chance now.
And so now, Kresnik,
Late game.
you have to get 3 points throughout
The
all
top.
of this.
I'm channeling in now.
As
I'm
a
Can I ask a
spoiler,
question, Gort?
You can.
Has anyone in the history of Hivemind ever gotten 0?
Technically, no.
Oh,
But
No.
but Dave
depending
did
on how
get
we want to
0.
play
No.
it. The last round in that first episode, we definitely tweaked the rules to
Yep.
give Dave a pity point.
we
Yep.
did.
And so if you're taking that away from him,
No,
which most
no.
people would because
Give him
it
his
was a
pity.
pity round,
No.
yes, then maybe one other.
Let him have his
But
pity.
Kresnik, you've got a match 3. This is the prompt,
Wrong.
just as a spoiler that I read before the show, and it made me laugh. Leonardo said, "That Mona Lisa is such a pain. The only way I can get her to smile is to tickle her with my blank." That
Oh,
Mona
I got
Lisa
it. Easy.
is
You're about
such
to
a
get some
pain.
points, buddy.
The only way I can get her to smile is to tickle her with my blank. Now,
Ding.
F. Dot just made a shrug face at me. It made me laugh earlier. I'm hoping it's as humorous as I think it is. Easy. It should be points.
No, Dave,
The question
you
is,
fucked up.
if he gets those points, Kresnik looks incredibly worried right now while the panel is writing down their answers. You only
There's
have
so
a
many
few more
body
seconds
parts,
right
Gort.
now.
There's so many things that aren't.
No, read it again.
Yeah, read it again.
Leonardo said, "That Mona Lisa is such a pain. The only way I can get her to smile is to tickle her with my blank." So, Kresnik, what is Leonardo tickling Mona Lisa with to get her to smile?
Paintbrush.
Paintbrush. That's a very solid answer. I think we also maybe could have just reused knob from the last round, but that might have been going too far. And I don't know how many people that makes smile. So, Finch, we're going to go ahead and turn over to you to see if we can match paintbrush.
I know you like to come to me first because I'm like, a stable one.
You're also the first on my left as I swivel over.
No, it's because I'm so cool. But we're gonna keep this round interesting because I also wrote paintbrush.
Oh,
let's
there
go,
we go.
Kresnik.
Petri said brush and then qualified it with paint.
Yeah.
Just to, right.
What
I
you said?
actually wrote paintbrush on my page. All
That's
right,
going to be
Kresnik
2
up
for
to
2. So now 1 more to tie,
Dun-dun.
2 more to win.
Are you feeling lucky, Kresnik?
No. Have you seen my other rounds?
Well, guess what? Got it.
And
So
you
it
wrote
comes
paintbrush.
down to how well
Hindu
you
F'd
know
me.
Hindu.
Does he F Kresnik?
Yes.
Perfect.
I went for the other alternative answer just in case, just like you in the last time when you got those 3 points.
Consider your bets hedged, brother.
Charming comedic talent.
I took over my charming comedic talent was all.
So Tom
and I
might
never
not
would've guessed that.
be on the episode, but his essence was channeled in at least one answer today. And that means that at the end of round 3, we do have a tie,
Dun, dun,
which is
Didn't do that intentionally at all over here.
very interesting because that means I'm going to have to pull. I have episode 4 written, but I didn't have a tiebreaker prompt, so I'm going to have to pull from a future prompt
That's cool.
and delete that and come up with another one. And so I'm just going to shoe pick one of these. You're both going to give an answer, and I don't know how we'll decide. We'll flip a coin to decide who will answer first out of the two
Does
of
it
you.
matter who answers first?
Well, we'll all
Yeah,
write
because
ours.
it might remove the other word.
Maybe
depending on
you
if you're
both
both on the
whisper
same
it to
page.
go.
We could
Gosh.
lock it in. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just say it to you. At
should
once
whisper it
the-
to you, Gore.
Whisper
we
it
could
to
do
me.
3, 2, 1.
Whisper sweet
Yeah.
nothings in
It's
my
ears.
ear.
Yeah.
You
And
gotta
we'll
write
see
down-
what
you can write
happens.
them
But
down like
we'll
you're-
go
That's
ahead
true.
and jump.
I think it's funny if we 3, 2, 1 and say it at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
That'll
Well,
work.
then we'll
3,
do
2,
that.
1,
So for the
same time.
first ever tie on Hivemind, this is going to be your prompt. Ideally, you both come out of this, or else I have to go to another one. I think my wife's new gynecologist used to be a cop. The doctor begins each exam by yelling blank. Now, in my mind, this also has a pretty obvious answer. And this is where it gets very dangerous. But I think my wife's new gynecologist used to be a cop. The doctor begins each exam by yelling blank.
Ding.
Ding.
And because of how many things I can imagine cops saying, I'm going to be very, very deliberate and separate answers here. So for matching, it's not going to be quite as easy for you, contestants.
What if me and Nick say the same thing?
Well,
Going to another one.
then I guess
Then
we
the
either
Hive
go to another
wins.
one, or
Then the
you rock,
Hive-
paper,
Hive
scissors,
wins,
and that
right?
person
Yeah.
wins. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, then the Hive wins. Everyone gets to go home.
It's my
happy.
fault. I should have wrote battering. We'd have been going home already.
You could
Then you could have written mammoth.
At
we
that
would've gone
point,
home.
honestly, if you keep giving the same answer, I have 6 more prompts. Well, I guess without this one, I have 5 more prompts. If we get to the end of those 5 and essentially film another episode,
Will they
They
fight?
should pick. They should each pick one of us they think they can match, and whoever
Yeah.
does.
Is Batarang
Like a
iconic enough?
yeah,
I think
I was
well
thinking
enough.
battering too.
Okay.
I was thinking Batarang. and then
Or
I
his
said
belt.
knob.
Oh, the belt would have been really good, actually.
I mean, it would have gotten 0.
The pants belt, yeah.
The pants.
Since-
that was a perfect opportunity for pants belt to actually be a good answer.
yeah, that was perfect.
I nearly wrote it, but he wasn't here for it. Otherwise, I would save it for
Oh, I've heard about it though.
All right, well, let's see. Well, I guess you see how this
I guess
goes.
we're going to
Alright,
see how this
let's
is.
do
I'm
it.
going to give you a twist as well. Kresnik, you are going to be trying to match with Dave and Finch, whereas Nick, you're going to be trying to match
That's not
with the
fair.
other side.
Well, mine was designed to cover both
That's
options.
Okay,
unlucky.
fine. Maybe we'll
That
get
is
both
unlucky
options.
that you got the Hindu RNG.
Just 3, 2, 1, shout it.
Yes, 3, 2, 1, shout it. We'll get both answers. If they are the same answer, we'll divide it up that way. If they are not, then we will go through this the way through. So, I think my wife's new gynecologist used to be a cop. The doctor begins each exam by yelling 3, 2, 1.
Spread 'em.
Freeze.
Spread them and freeze. There we go. So, two distinctly separate answers. So, you're going to be trying to match all
actually
4
so
this
good.
time.
How you two feeling over there, other Hive people?
What do you mean?
I mean, would you match either of those?
oh, we're about to find out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and flip your answer.
Oh, me, you mean?
Yeah.
Finch? All right, well, I wrote
seems nervous.
freeze.
So that's going to be a point over. So, right now,
I'm sorry, Nick.
Nick's looking for another.
Not sure why he would say this, but get on the ground.
That seems unsanitary.
Yeah, I think
Unfortunately,
it
in this
is.
day and age, it's also what you're more likely to hear.
Yeah, mine was a warning. They don't yell that anymore, do they?
So
Wait.
turn around and put your hands behind your head.
That I could find that
the
being
same vein.
a very, very daunting way to start an exam as well.
I mean, I've watched a lot of live PD lately, so I just followed the lead, and all I hear all the time at the start is, "Show me your hands."
Show me your hands.
Show me your hand.
Well, how fortunate that we came out of that one. I
Spreading
think
was really
Spreading
good.
is-
That was actually the best.
I'm mad
hands
at
down
you.
my
It's a
favorite answer.
consolation win. For
yeah, the
this
problem with
episode.
Nick is he's better than us.
I'm
at
just.
this. he's in a bad spot.
But Nick, unfortunately for you, Spread'em did not come up on the panel.
Can we give him a
Kresnik-
point for that?
And well, he gets a point in my heart, but unfortunately, a point in my heart is not a point in the game. Kresnik, you actually got the match, and you get the consolation paper that comes through. I don't know. It's I guess the rest
Consolation paper.
portion of it
The
that
ultimate
wasn't written as
prize.
freeze. But you win 2 games in a row, 2 weeks in a row, even is the way we record these.
In
So
defiance
congratulations
of God.
to you. And with that, you continue to be, I guess, right now the reigning victor and only true victor of Hivemind. So before we go forward with it, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been listening. Thank you to the panel for coming in. Alvin as the last minute addition, Hindu for bouncing back and forth between yes and no all day before
you.
finally showing up. And of course, our contestants for coming onto the show. And for everyone who's been listening, my name's been Gormizer, and we will see you on the next episode of Hivemind.